Hi there. Hi, I was wondering if you could take a look at that for me.
Lord, I'm having a heart attack. Damn, this is some scary shit. Oh, I am scared.
The film opens up and we get a POV shot from inside of a car. We then cut to a little girl looking out of her window when she spots the car outside. She puts on the coat and goes outside. And at first I was thinking, oh, she know who this person is. You know, the way she was walking up to the car. I thought she was familiar with the person. But nah, just another dumbass making dumbass decisions. You know, the usual.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, okay? It's a dumbass white movie about some dumbass white girls getting their white asses cut the fuck up, okay?
While she just staring at this car, she hears a noise.
Cuckoo.
And of course, she goes towards the noise. She starts looking around and out of nowhere, this ugly ass man pops up and snatches her up. We cut to the next scene and we're introduced to our main character, Special Agent Lee. She's attending an FBI meeting providing details for a killer on the loose. So I'm assuming the little girl wasn't the only person that old boy snatched up. After the meeting, Lee and her partner Fitz go out to a neighborhood looking for potential suspects. And Lee starts to get this funny feeling when she looks at this one house and something in her knows immediately that the killer is in there. Her partner goes to speak with the homeowner and y'all just check out what happened to him.
FBI! Hi there. Hi, I was wondering if you could take a look at that for me.
Damn!
Yo, if I was her, I would've got the hell on so fast. Did y'all see that? I would've been out of there. But she ain't me, cause she rushes inside and catches the man in his room with his hands up. And hey, since she was already there, he got his hands up, she might as well have shot him. But nah, instead we cut to the next scene where she's trapped inside this room and has to take some weird numbers generator test. And if I'm being for real, I'm honestly just confused as I don't know what looking at this scene. We then cut to Lee in the car with Agent Carter and Agent Brownie. They begin to tell her about a murder that took place with the father killing his family. And after the murders, there's a letter left behind with a cryptic coded message, signed with the word Longlegs. And it gets weirder because Agent Carter says that for over 30 years, they've received 10 of these letters from different murders. So old boy been killing for a long time. Hey, he damn near retirement age at this point. So they take Lee into their office and start to question her about how she knew which house that the killer was in. She says that it was just a feeling. She then questions him about the murders.
Tell me your version of what happened in Colfax with the shooting of Agent Fisk.
It's like something tapping me on the shoulder, telling me where to look.
Identify the suspect's house. With no prior knowledge, no real indication that it was any way different than all the cookie cutters all around it. Anything like that ever happened to you before, Agent Harker?
What do the families have in common?
That's a good question. All the victim families have daughters whose birthdays are on the 14th of any given month.
Agent Carter then gives Lee some papers and tells her to get to work with figuring out any clues that could connect the prior killings. While looking through the findings, we get a voiceover montage of one of the killings, with the father calling the police before going completely ballistic on his family.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my daughter, but it's not my daughter.
Sir, who's not your daughter? Sir? Hello? Can you stay on the line?
After spending hours looking for any connection, Agent Carter walks back in to find Lee knocked out asleep. He takes her out to eat, and at the restaurant is where she lays out some of the info that she's found.
Well, there's no signs of forced entry. In fact, forensics says there's no indication he was ever in the house at all. There's only the bodies of the victims, and they've all been killed with something from inside the house. 2 times a shotgun, both legally registered to the father. 8 times a knife from the family's kitchen. Once a hammer from the family's toolbox.
She also says that Longlegs may be working with a partner. So after that little discussion, Agent Carter done got his ass drunk and can't drive. So Lee ends up taking him home. When they get there, he introduces her to his wife and his daughter Ruby. And for some strange reason, his daughter Ruby really likes Lee and even asks her to go to her birthday party.
Can she come to my birthday party?
Sounds great to me. Why don't you ask her?
I'll be there.
Hey, I would've been like, hey, little girl, leave me alone. I'm too grown to be your friend. Anyways, later that night, Lee is at home talking to her mom. When she hears a knock at her door, she heads outside to see what it is. But when she gets outside, we see that someone done walked in her house. Man, when I'm telling y'all, I would've got the hell on. But again, Lee is not me. She goes inside to see who was in her house, but no one's there. But what she does find is an envelope at her desk, and that brings us to part 2. In the envelope is a card with a cat holding the number 9. And on the back is another one of those coded letters signed by Longlegs. Now, the only person who can understand these letters is Lee, and you can see on the screen what this letter means. So yeah, this killer is a real sicko. Lee then gets a call from Agent Carter letting her know that there was another murder. She helps him decode the letter and goes to see the body, which isn't a pretty sight. Later that night, Lee goes to call her mom, and her mom seems a little off.
Yes, who is it?
Hi, Mom.
Lee?
Yes? Still your only daughter? Just calling to let you know that I'm gonna be busy now with work. I probably won't be able to make it.
Are you still saying your prayers?
Yeah, listen, I gotta go.
Lee, honey, our prayers protect us from the devil.
Now, I want y'all to make a note of the mother telling her to make sure that she's saying her prayers because they protect her from the devil. After the awkward call with her mom, she spends time at the library and comes up with what she thinks is a fact and presents it to Carter.
It's an algorithm. His algorithm. The first murder happens on July 14th, 1966. The rest occur within 6 days of the daughters' birthdays, either before or after, creating an inverted triangle.
Lee tells Carter about a connected murder that had a sole survivor.
But it goes bad due to Carrie Ann's father and the axe from the tool shed. He kills the priest, his wife, and then himself. Carrie Ann's at school, so she survives. Now look at Carrie Ann's birthday.
March 14th.
I believe Longlegs was at the Camera family farm. And it's possible that Carrie Ann saw him.
After hearing the story, Agent Carter wants to talk to the surviving victim of this possible connected killing, whose name was Carrie Ann. They agree to do so, but before doing that, they end up going to the abandoned farm of where the killing took place. And you can just tell from the outside that it's not the smartest idea for these two to just sneak in at the middle of the night, but it wouldn't be a horror film without these dumb decisions, right? So they break in, and while snooping, they find this human-like doll thingy, which is so creepy. They take it to the lab for research, and the guy says this.
She's handmade, that's for sure. And beautifully handmade at that. Porcelain head, hands and feet, unbleached canvas body, cotton stuffing. The hair is human, what's left of it.
What about the ball there?
It was inside the head. So I've been calling it the brain. It's hollow, empty of object or matter.
Y'all, I'm just watching this movie like, what is going on? So is he saying that this doll has like a soul or something? This is getting weird. Now we see Longlegs with another handcrafted doll that he named Carrie Ann, which is the same name as the sole survivor that Lee mentioned earlier. We then begin to follow Longlegs around, and he's just a weirdo doing weirdo things.
Can I help you with anything else today?
Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo.
Daddy! That gross guy is back again.
Now we see Lee speaking with Carrie Ann. And man, Carrie Ann has seen some things in her life. From her mama practicing killing a doll, her dad chopping up animals, and on the day of the murder, she watched her dad kill a pastor, and then her own mom. Man, no wonder she in this room by herself. We go to Lee trying to explain to Carter that she thinks that Longlegs is maybe using the dolls to aid him in his killing. And Carter is just like, girl, that's ridiculous, and brushes it off. He then asks her how does she know so much about the killer. He then asks her if she's talked to her mother, because he did some research and found out that his mom called in a police report one day before her 9th birthday, which is January 14th. And if you remember from earlier, Longlegs loves girls with birthdays on the 14th. And if you also remember earlier, she received a letter with a cat with the number 9 on it. So we're slowly finding connections between her and Longlegs. Lee says that she doesn't remember, so Carter tells her to go to her mom and try to get info of what took place on the day that she called in a report. So Lee pulls up to her mother's place, and this is the same place from the beginning. This means that Lee was the little girl who got snatched up in the beginning. Man, I thought that little girl was dead. Turns out she was in my face the whole time. When she gets inside of her mom's place, they talk some and she ends up going to her old room. There she finds a picture of Longlegs, and it gives her a flashback to the day that she first saw him. She heads back to town and takes the picture back to Carter. Now that they know what he looks like, they pull up on dude expeditiously.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to get down on the fucking ground.
The real question that I want to know is, how did they know that he was gonna be at this bus stop at this very exact moment? Questions. Anyways, after they catch him, he starts to sing happy birthday in the creepiest way possible.
Happy birthday to you. I thought it was fun. I like the beat. So.
They searched his belongings, but found nothing and said that they don't have enough info to lock him up. And I don't know, the way he was singing happy birthday sounded real serial killer-like. Like, that's enough information for me. But Lee says that she believes that he has an accomplice, and she thinks that they'll kill again. So she goes to Longlegs to find out who could be helping him. But when she asks him who he's working with, he tells her to ask her mama.
Who's been helping you? Who is the man downstairs?
Why don't you ask your mommy?
Oh! And after he says that, he just starts freaking beating his face to death. Literally, this man did. After that, we find out that Carrie Ann jumped off of a building of her mental hospital and died, and Carter has had enough and leaves. He's so dramatic. Seeing how much that Lee is going through, Agent Browning offers to take her home. They end up going to Lee's mother's place so that she can get some answers because Longlegs did say ask your mama. When they arrive, Agent Browning stays in and Lee goes to find her mother. And Agent Browning should have just got out because Lee's mother finds her and eliminates her completely. Lee hears this, then goes to her mom, and we see her mom pointing a gun at a doll-made version of a young Lee. Talk about creepy, right? So her mom shoots the head of the doll, and this causes Lee to fall out. That's when we get a flashback as well as a narration from the mother where it's confirmed that she was in fact working with Longlegs. She explains that the day that young Lee first saw Longlegs, instead of him killing her, to save Lee's life, she made a deal with the devil to instead basically kill everyone else's happy family so that her daughter and her could live. Now, how was this done, you say? Well, she would go to these families who had daughters and offer them a doll from the church, with the families not knowing that these gifted dolls actually had the devil inside of them that would possess the fathers to kill. Yo, this some real sick shit, I ain't gonna lie. We cut to Lee waking up, and she hears the phone ring and answers it. And it's the devil telling her not to miss the birthday party. And if you remember from earlier, Agent Carter's daughter, Ruby, invited her to the birthday party. So she rushes to the party, and when she gets there, it seems as if everything is okay until she gets in, and we see that Ruby got one of them ugly-ass handmade dolls, and Lee's mother is sitting right across from her. Yo, who invited her ass? You know what? It don't even matter because the devil has already been let loose and he's taking control of Agent Carter. And Lee's mother says that Agent Carter's family has to die or else Lee and her mother will both twist and burn to death because that's the deal she made with the devil. We overhear the possessed Agent Carter killing his wife in the kitchen. After he's done, he then comes out and tries to kill his daughter, but Lee shoots him. And that makes her mother furious and she tries to kill her, but she a little too slow because Lee pulls out her gun and does a headshot. She grabs Ruby and tries to shoot the doll, but for some reason she decides not to, and that's how the movie ends. Yo, that was crazy, right? If this movie don't teach you nothing else, you better remember to not make a deal with the devil. That was honestly my big takeaway. But can we talk about the hypocrisy of the mama? She had the nerve to be reminding Lee to say her prayers to keep the devil away. Whole time she was the one working with the devil. Having the whole buy one get one free deal with these innocent people, that's the part that gets me. She wasn't even practicing what she was preaching. I mean, she wasn't even preaching to be honest. She was just as evil as the devil and Longlegs. Not gonna lie, for a good little chunk of the film, I was confused. I was like, what's going on? But I'm glad they summed it up in the end for us. All in all, I enjoyed watching this film and I hope you did too. And if you made it to the end of this video, I would appreciate it if you gave me a like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.